A very big welcome to you, my dear Libra. So, the sun is in Virgo. And when the sun is in Virgo, it lets us know that we are needing to understand that we find the light deep within. And you had sun in Virgo already, giving the light to the moon in Libra. Now, listen to this. Then the moon is in Libra. And we go to the left, to the new moon. The new moon happened in Virgo for 1 hour. The new moon is only 0% for 2 hours, something like that. Then it just goes slowly already in the other direction. So for 45 minutes, 1 hour, the moon, the new moon, was in Virgo and moved into Libra. And so you understand that there was a split between Virgo and Libra of the fertile ground, but the sun stayed in Virgo. And you getting your new moon in the next reading, where you're gonna have sun and new moon in Libra. So it was really complicated at first for me to figure this out, how I'm going to do the reading, right? Because it's split. But I figured it out because I did the German reading first. And when I do the German reading first, I'm always like struggling. So when I do then the English one, I feel like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of like getting there, right? So just that you understand. So it was a very complex situation. And the moon moved in front of the sun. There was a solar eclipse in Virgo. And so the moon was first in Virgo and then moved into Libra. So you understand, right? It's quite intense, quite complex. So now we're going to look at the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, we have the combination Virgo above, which is Dali's Tarot, and below the Queen of Swords. That I did in the previous reading where the moon was in Virgo. And so is your birthday between the 12th to the 23rd of September, you are this combination. Look in the previous reading, down in the description, I have a number, I have a time, and you can jump into that reading and see this combination. Then here in this reading, I'm going to do the classical Libra here with Justice above and below the Queen of Swords, soul, human aspect. This combination is your birthday between the 24th of September to the 12th of October. Then you're this combination. And this I do today. And then we have another combination with the next zodiac sign, which is above Justice and below the human, the King of Cups. Is your birthday between the 13th to the 23rd of October, then you're this combination. And here I also give you a time, and you can jump forward and have a look at that, right? So just that you understand, that's what I'm working on right now. That's why I didn't end the readings, because it's getting more complex with what I do, and that's how I learn, and I see that you are able to learn with me. Good. So now back to the last reading, where we had the Virgo sun giving Libra moon the light, right? And the Queen of Swords, let go of your subtle ego and say yes. The King of Cups, discover the layers of love. And you see the cards, and usually I look if there is a reoccurring card, and I do not see a reoccurring card. And so we can begin the reading. Good. So I begin with the Queen of Swords, and she's getting out of her deck the Seven of Wands, which is Moon in Sagittarius, and you have a 7-7 portal here. And in that 7-7 portal, you understand that the 2 is creativity and the 7 is your emotional intelligence. And your emotional intelligence can be brutal. Sometimes you judge people really quickly, so take action to counterbalance the thoughts that come to you that want you to give others that cutting ego type situation off, that cutting the head off, the ego off, right? And so don't do that. Don't do that anymore. It's not good, right? Understand that you need to do things to recognize that when you do things, you feel good, you feel grounded, you feel earth, right? If you're too much in your head, you're like losing yourself. Do things. So now I want to see what is the moon saying. And the moon is bringing you lost in space, needing direction, the number 36. So here we have a 7-7, and the 36 is of course a 9. And that 9 is literally saying, well, sometimes you occupy too much by thinking about how you're going to take action. Take action, not because you have to defend yourself, but because you want to. Not because you must, because you want. And that's where the inner strength comes from. And so here, if you are lost in your direction, take action. It's almost like saying take action on an emotional intelligence level where you will notice that it is important that you understand that the world will bring you to a place where sometimes you feel lost in space and that you need the directions, and the directions will come by taking action. What is Sagittarius bringing? He brings you the Apprentice of Pipes, which is then the young generation of fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So Moon in Sagittarius is already here. So there's a Sagittarius that is behind this being lost in space. And you see she almost is doing Tai Chi. She is creating a groundedness in her life, so she's not feeling lost. She takes action. She is doing. She's not thinking. She is doing. She is taking action. So the 7 and the 3 is the 10. The 10 and the 9 is the 19, and that's the sun. The sun in Virgo is bringing you that. But the sun, right, is giving you the understanding Virgo is where you find your inner strength and you are not lost in space anymore. And that's important, right? So the 19, perfect, right? We get the 10 and the 7 is the 17. Then you're a star because the sun is a dwarf star. And you want to be a star, then you need to be bigger than that. You need to come out of this lost in space. And sometimes you get lost because you are connected with your thoughts, with your mind, with your thinking apparatus, and you need to let go of that. So here, the 36 plus the 3 is the 42. It's a 6. And the 6 and the 7 is the 13. And the 13 is the transformation. And then you have the 4 left. The 4 and the 7 is the 11. Altogether, you have an 11, you have a portal. So understand that you're protected and you are not going to be lost, but you will find your way back, right? And so it's beautiful. You can see, you can get through the numbers, different stories. Okay, so now I want to see what is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing, and you're getting the 10 of Wands to the right. And that's Saturn in Sagittarius. So you already had here Moon in Sagittarius. Now you get Saturn. Saturn is the world in Sagittarius, and you get 17 Wands. And so here we look at the 7 and the 10, and the 10 is pointing at this because we're going to the left. And you see that the 17 is appearing, that's the star, and you are creating a star out of yourself. If you come into the 8, the 17 calculated together, the 8 is the infinite doing. And out of that infinite doing, you're learning that that trance dance that you're doing is helping you to liberate yourself. It's helping you to awaken yourself. Then what is lost in space? Getting with the Ten of Wands, which is facing down, right? You understand that to the right it's more out and to the left it's more in. And so the 10 and the 9 is the 19, and then the 19, that's the sun. The sun, which is in Virgo, is letting you know, well, look one more time deep within, because next time the sun is in Libra, and then you're going to have your new moon, and you're sharing with Virgo this new moon, right? Because the new moon is in your sign, but the sun is not in your sign. The sun is in Virgo, so Virgo is here. And that's what's talking here, right? That you're not feeling lost, that you find the light within to not be lost. Then what's happening with the apprentice? The apprentice dance out of the 10 of Wands into the outer world, and they say, well, have a look. She's dancing, she's the apprentice of pipes, and she's doing the trance dance to the outer world. She has found deep within the 10 and the 3, the 13, the transformation to be where she wants to be, and the 4 is left. And that 4 is again the stability that we need to come to the next level. Well, wonderful, right? So you see it's helping. Now what's coming here for you, right? The 10 and the 7, again the 17, the star that you can be if you're not cutting constantly people's head off. Just be gentle, just be amazing, just be someone that is really there for others, and you will see then infinite is the potential of people coming towards you and saying you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are the Queen of Swords that has the highest intellect of all zodiac signs. Odin is getting the Chariot, which is Cancer. So we have a 7 and an 8, that's the 15. At work, you feel that your success makes you sometimes emotional, right? So observe that you're not getting attached to a certain success that has to do with what you're doing at home, right? Homework, business at home, that you are finding your place, that you're finding your consciousness, right, in what you're doing. And the 6 is left, because the 6 is then the self-love that comes out of it. So what is Cancer bringing? We have the Queen of Pentacles. And here we have Thoth, Tarot, and you see her horns, and it's kind of like the 15, and now comes the Queen of Pentacles. This is 15, the devil, the attachment to work, emotional attachment to work. And now comes the Queen of Pentacles, the 10, the career. So altogether, then the 10 and the 15 is the 25, the 7 is left. So this 7 is left, and you understand that if you want to be really, really successful, be it because it feels right to you, not because you know, put in certain emotions and declarations and, well, you know, I deserve it, etc. No, you just do what you do and you love it, and then it becomes something amazing and loving. So what is the Queen of Pentacles bringing? She's bringing the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo. And Virgo, we know the sun is in the Hermit in Virgo. So Virgo is looking at the Queen of Pentacles. So the 10 and the 6 is the 16. Something's got to go in the routine, in the work, in how you work, right? So then the 7 is left. The 7 portal is talking to you. And so you understand that Virgo brings routine, but also health. How you work is affecting your health. Now, what is Virgo bringing? The Hangman. And so you see the 12 and the 6 is the 18. That's the moon. The moon is making that you're letting go of that routine. The 9 and the 10, the 19, the sun in Virgo, the 19, the 10 and the 7, The 17 is, of course, the star, right? Aquarius. And then the 8. The 8 and the 8, an 8-8 portal. Look at that. So now you have an 8-8 portal. You went through all of these cards deeper and deeper within, and you let yourself hang. And of course I want to see what is Neptune bringing, because the Hangman is Neptune. And Neptune, I'm going to put the rest of the cards down, is bringing you the Lover. Let yourself be hanged upside down, and you see he is not looking at the card. He's looking in the other direction. And so you see, right, that the Hanged Man, in the end, he's looking over there. You see that the Lover is here. You see that we have the shadow attributes, which is obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion, will be difficult for you, right? But then the light attribute of the Lover is great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And so the Hanged Man is literally saying, maybe you gotta let go of a little bit of that. Become the Lover yourself. But what's really interesting, you are hanging here on this olive tree, at the tree of life, and you're pointing at the rune alphabet, and here you are getting the Hanged Man. And in between you had Cancer, you had Capricorn, and you had Virgo. And all three, right, are bringing to you the understanding that love makes you successful, right? And then the success is something that you live, and the routine through Virgo is something that you just simply do. And you do it because you love doing it. And so here you see that we had an 8-8 portal, and the 12 is the 3, right? And here the 6 and the 10 was the 16. The 16 then has become the 7 with the 7, a 7-7 portal, 2 times the 7, we leave that. And then here the 8 and the 12 is the 20, the last judgment. And the last judgment is Pluto, which rules really Scorpio, right? And in the 20 we see that we have arrived, but I can also do a 3 here, and the 8 is the 11. So you can pick, do you want a 20 or do you want an 11? And then you can let go of that fatuation. The 11 is the portal for that, and you will liberate yourself from it. So now, of course, I want to see what is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing, and the Mother Peace Tarot brings you the 4 of discs to the right. And so Cancer, the 7 and the 4 is the 11, right? The 4 of discs is Sun in Capricorn. We had Capricorn, but Cancer is opposite of Capricorn, right? They give each other the light for the full moon. And so you see that the 4 and the 7 is the 11. There's a portal in the way you handle money, right? Because this one came first, this is second. So it's pointing at Cancer, the 11. Find deep within the consciousness to bring the financial aspect of the 4 of Pentacles, which sometimes is stingy, sometimes is holding on to money, right? Find the opening into the 11 consciousness, right? Then the 10 and the 4 is the 14. And the 14 then becomes the 5. It's human aspect to create something here and be of success in that 5. Be of value to others. Then the 4 and the 6 is a 10. And you see it looks away from the 4 of Pentacles. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like this kind of behavior. Right? Well, we need to fix things. We need to maybe not spend that money. And the 10 is here to let you know there's a new cycle. And Virgo is looking away from those 4 of Pentacles, which sometimes is like, I have money, but to the world you're like, I don't have any money. Right? So observe that. And then the Hanged Man with the Lovers, we understand that the 12 plus the 4 is the 16. That's Mars, that's the Tower. Things gotta go, things are gonna transform, and the 16 is the 7. The 7 with here, the 7, a 7-7 portal, where you understand, hey, I can do it. I can be of service. I can help others to understand how I did it, right? How I overcame the 4 of Pentacles, which is always a little bit difficult, right? But here the 3 and the 4 is the 7. We know that you have the emotional intelligence to overcome that with the way you love yourself, right? And then what's coming here with you, Odin? Odin, the 8 and the 4 is the 12. So the Hanged Man is literally saying, yes, a 12-12 or a 3-3, which is then in the 33, that moment where you understand, I have come into mastery. I let go of the things, right? And you see, it's like the Hanged Man, and you're hanging here on the tree of life. And you're pointing at the rune alphabet. And you're hanging here 9 months. And the sun is in Virgo, which is the 9. So you understand how clear the message is. And you know that this is important, right? When we understand how the signs talk to us, the 12 becomes the 3. And that 3 is that moment with this 12, the 3, the 33. Mastery is coming in the way you love yourself, but then also love others. Wow, beautiful. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because that's when you're going to get the sun and the new moon in your sign. You don't have to share it with Virgo. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.